everyone, we are back with another empties video, but this one's not a regular empties. This one is actually my 2025 makeup empties, and as the name would suggest, these are all of the makeup items that I used up in 2025, and I have to say I'm actually pretty surprised with myself, especially since the makeup challenge that I was doing this year wasn't really conducive to like finishing up products or using things up. As you guys know, in the past several years, I really had focused a little bit more on using up items and trying to finish up a certain amount of products within the year. But for 2025, I wanted to kind of switch things up a bit, and I started doing a shop my stash weekly rotation kind of makeup challenge. So every week I was picking new items from my makeup collection stash and kind of rediscovering and refalling in love with a lot of products that haven't gotten used in so long. Because that is one of the downsides of doing like a project pan challenge, is a lot of the other things kind of get neglected while you're focused on using up specific items. So I just wanted to change that up for 2025, and I have to say I really enjoyed it so much because it really did kind of like scratch that itch of wanting to buy new things or wanting to try new things or getting that like spark of like trying something new again. And I definitely feel like it was a really good way to kind of like trick my brain into that serotonin boost. So with all that being said, I wasn't really sure how many empties I was going to end up with this year because I was going through different products over and over and not really just using like one specific product to use it up. So I'm actually pretty surprised with myself. I will give you guys a quick little sneak peek of all of the makeup empties that I have, and I'm gonna go through and share with you guys how many we have. So if you want to put your guesses in now, go ahead and tell me how many makeup items do you think I used up. Now I will say some of them are full size, some of them are mini size, some of them are like sample, deluxe sample size, so keep that in mind, but put your guesses now for how many items you think I used up. Alright, so we're gonna go category by category, and I'm gonna share with you guys how many items I used up, what the items were, if I had any thoughts about them, and whether I'd buy them again or not. So starting off with our first category, we have face primers. So I actually have 5 products that I used up, so I think that was pretty good. I will admit all of these are on the smaller side, but an empty is an empty in my mind, and I will take a win wherever I can get it. So starting off with the first one, we have the NYX Pore Filler Primer. One thing I've really come to realize this year, and I feel like I've kind of known it all along, but I really kind of like solidified it in my mind, is that I don't necessarily love like pore filling primers that much anymore. I don't really feel like I need them, and I kind of feel like they don't really do much for making the makeup last longer. It will make the makeup look a little smoother, but as far as like longevity of the makeup, I don't really think it does much for me. So I am definitely trying to use up all of these products that I have in my collection, but I'm definitely going to make a conscious effort moving forward to limit my purchase of these kind of pore filling primers because I just don't really care for them that much. I prefer more of like either a really moisturizing primer or like a glowy moisturizing primer. Those are definitely the ones that I prefer to use. Moving on to the next one, this is another like mini size or deluxe sample, but hey, I will take it. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This one, I love this primer. I really love this one. This is more of like a stickier kind of primer. I typically tend to use this more in the summertime, but I love this one. I do have a full size, so I already have that one in my collection. This is one that I definitely feel like I see a noticeable difference when I use this primer, and I have to say that really says something because I'm not the best at noticing like little tiny details like that, but this one, especially in the summertime, especially when I'm prone to sweating, this one actually makes a difference for me. Next up, we have a primer from Misha. This is like the Glow Primer, and this one is one I've had for a long time. This is one that is more of that moisturizing kind of primer, but this one I remember making my skin feel very greasy and very oily, and I mean, I am a dry skin girl and I love all the moisture I can get, but this one just kind of had that like Vaseline on my face kind of feeling, and I didn't really enjoy that one, so I definitely wouldn't repurchase this one. I don't even know if they still make this one. This one I got way back in like my K-beauty days, so it was definitely definitely time for it to get used up. I do think the packaging's kind of pretty, so I might like repurpose this for something because it is a nice container, so maybe I will repurpose it for like a travel size container. Next up we have the Clean Color Bedazzled Serum Primer. This is one that was one of those types of products that had no business being in a dropper bottle. It was kind of more like that gel formula, and it just did not need to be in a dropper bottle. I might keep the dropper bottle because it is a nice glass bottle and I could put like a face oil in it, which would be much better suited for it. But as far as the primer itself, this is one of the cases where I really liked the primer. As I was applying it, it felt very nice on the skin. It kind of sunk in and felt really nice. However, when I would put foundation on top of this one, it would kind of like give you that pilly kind of texture on my skin, and I did not like that at all. So I did kind of use this one up begrudgingly, but I finally used it up, and I definitely don't think I would ever repurchase this one. It was just so funny how I enjoyed it while I was putting it on, but if I was putting makeup on top of it, did not like it at all. And the last one that I used up, this is another like K-beauty brand. This was from Espoir, and it's called the Skin Smoothing Glow Riser. This was like one of those ones that had like the little color corrector beads in it, and like you'd burst the beads and it would kind of like color correct or something. Didn't really care for this one, didn't really like it. I'm glad it's gone, would not repurchase. So moving on to our next category, we have foundations, and this one I was actually pretty surprised, but I used up 7 foundations this year. Some of these are some mini ones, so we'll give it a little bit of leeway there, but I did use up 7. So starting off with my favorite one. This one was one I had in my collection for the longest time. I completely forgot about it, but I rediscovered it through my Shop My Stash rotation, so that was definitely a really like good surprise. And one thing I really enjoyed about doing the Shop My Stash was that I rediscovered this foundation, and I loved this formula so much. This is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and this one is the Dewy and Smooth formula. And this color, I actually really like the color. It was a little bit darker, but I kind of liked it. This one was number 115 Ivory, so for my future self, if I'm repurchasing this, I liked 115 Ivory. This was one, you could probably tell, like I scraped as much as I could out of this bottle. There's definitely like a tiny bit in here, but it's all the way up here at the neck where you just can't get any more product out of it. But I really enjoyed this one. It looked really great on my skin. It didn't give that like cakey dry look at the end of the day, which a lot of foundations do. This one looked really nice, really smooth. I loved it so much. So in the future, this is totally one I can see myself coming back to once I cull down my collection, which will take a while, but in the future, I can definitely see myself coming back to this one. Another one I was really surprised that I rediscovered in my collection. I also really enjoyed this one. This was the CoverGirl Clean Matte Foundation. I'm typically not like a matte foundation kind of girl because I have such dry skin. I like having a little bit of dewiness or a little bit of luminance to kind of like make my skin not look too flat. But this one also a good color. This one was 520 Creamy Natural. And that's another thing I've realized lately. I kind of like when I go just a little bit darker in my foundation than I think that I need, and I've realized they kind of look better on me. I don't know what it is, but I think for so long in my mind I've always thought, okay, you're the lightest color in the foundation, or you're the second lightest color in the foundation. And I've kind of realized the more if I go like maybe like the 3rd or the 4th shade, sometimes I think they look a little bit better on me. So something to keep in mind as well. But I definitely enjoyed this one. Another one, I don't know if they still have this one or not, but one I could see myself coming back to again in the future. Same thing, it just looked really good at the end of the night, which is definitely the telltale sign of a good foundation. So that was another one I really liked. Next up we have this foundation. This was the Hard Candy Glamouflage one. This is one of those cases where I got a foundation that was way too light for me. And this one I have to say I do not really like this foundation at all. I've had this one for a long time too. This one is in the color Porcelain, and I liked that it had really good coverage to it, but it was kind of too much. It was definitely like one of those foundations that like makes it feel like you're wearing a mask. And because I have had this one so long, it did kind of dry up a bit. I did use up like most of this foundation though. Like there is barely anything left, but what is left is like super thick and super gummy and like unusable at this point. But I mean, I truly did use like 95% of this foundation, but I don't think I would repurchase this one. I don't even know if they still sell it anymore. And once again, I'm kind of over that like super full coverage matte foundation, just not for me anymore. Moving on, we have the e.l.f. BB cream. This one is the SPF 21. I don't think they sell this one anymore. I know they have the camo CC cream, which I do own, but I do not like it as much as I liked this one. This one was my favorite. I don't remember what color this one was. Oh, it says it, Fair. I really like the color Fair. If they still had this one and it was the same formula, I would maybe repurchase it in the future because I did really enjoy this one. And it was very like hydrating on the skin. It didn't look like too dry or anything. So I did really love this one, but I don't think they sell it anymore. And then for like my little minis here, this one is one I've had for so long. And I'm like, okay, we have got to use this up. So I finally used it up. This one is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Beauty Balm little sample. And this one, I have to say, it surprised me so much at how long this lasted for being such a tiny thing. Like, I got about like 3 to 4 weeks of use out of this, which I never would have thought possible with this tiny of amount of product, but it actually really lasted and surprised me. I don't think they sell that anymore. It was just a sample that I had forever. And then the last two that I used up are the like mini sample or deluxe sample size of the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundations. I don't know if these were the same color or not. Yeah, they are. They're 117, which was Y225. I always feel like Makeup Forever's like numbering system confused me. Overall, I liked these, but these are definitely too yellow for me and I would not repurchase these colors. I know these used to be super big way back in the day. I feel like they're like not as popular anymore, but I definitely wouldn't get these colors. They're too yellow, but I don't know. No, I don't think I'd repurchase these. I mean, they were okay. They did their job. So moving on to the next category, we have concealers, and I actually only used up one concealer. I have been kind of like going through all my makeup collections and like trying to figure out like which items I have a good chance at using up. So for the concealer that I used up, this one, I cannot for the life of me remember what the brand name is, but it's this little like glass apple like shaped one. This one's called the Cover Master Tip Concealer. Another product I've had since like my K-beauty days way back in the day. This one I really liked. However, the packaging, as cute as it is extremely like non-functional. Like the little applicator here is like a tiny little short little doe foot applicator, and you can't really like get this into the product very much. I'm sure there is so much product that is like in the edges of this that we'll never be able to get to just because the shape of the packaging. But I mean, as far as what I could use, I completely used to the brim. Overall, I don't have any like super strong thoughts on this. I remember that I liked it, but I did use this one up way closer towards the beginning of the year. I liked it, but nothing I would repurchase. And honestly, I have so many concealers, and after trying so many concealers, I'm like, yeah, a lot of these are kind of all just the same thing in different packaging. So I'm not super picky when it comes to my concealers. It's really just like how good of a color tone I get, and that one actually was a really nice color tone for me, but nothing that I think I'd repurchase. All right, and moving on to the next category, we have powders. And for my powders, I used up 2 powders, and I was actually surprised at how many powders I still have in my collection, but I was very glad to use these up. So the first one I used up was the Ciate London Everyday Vacay Coconut Setting Powder. Loved this one so much. Unfortunately, I don't think Ciate London is around anymore, but this one was an amazing powder. I loved it so much. It had a slight coconut scent to it, and it was super like a lightweight powder, and it was not like a heavy powder at all, and it just blurred the areas so well. I love this one. If I didn't have so many powders I still need to work through and I could like find this one online, I would maybe pick it up, but I just have so many to go through, and I know that I always love trying new things. So unfortunately, I don't think I can even get that even if I wanted to. And speaking of another brand that I really love that is not around anymore, this one was a mini of the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. This was another really good powder. It had almost like a cooling sensation when you would apply it to your under eyes, and it kind of felt like a little bit wet, which is kind of a weird feeling, but it was very, very cool. So I loved that like set and refresh vibe. This one I actually really enjoy the packaging of as well. So I'm probably going to repurpose this little baby container and put my other powders in it because I love that it has the little mesh screen in here. So definitely probably going to keep the packaging and make some more use for it. Once again, I love that powder, but unfortunately Becca is no longer around, so I don't even know if I could find that if I really wanted to. Next up, moving on to contour products. And I actually only have one product to share, but I was very glad to use this one up. This was the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand, and it was the contour color, and this one was the Fair Light one. I did really like this one. I felt like it had a really nice, cool toned color that was great for more of like contouring rather than bronzing, but I really like this one a lot. I have never tried the Charlotte Tilbury one, which is what this one's kind of like duping. I think this one was really good. I feel like there are so many brands that have products like this now, but I definitely could see myself coming back to this one in the future if I finish up all the other products. I mean, I have so many that I don't really see myself repurchasing any of these items with the exception of like maybe 2 or 3 items. But definitely one I would consider to repurchase in the future if I didn't have so many things. So I definitely have a lot of things to keep working through. Moving on to the next category, we have eyeliners. And for my 2 products that I used up, the first one here, we have, this one is the Rockin's Big Fat Liner. I believe I got this like through a subscription box. This one was like a big fat felt tip liquid liner, and I actually really liked this one. However, it did transfer on me. So I remember one day I had worn this. I liked how thick it was because I do kind of do a little bit of a thicker eyeliner, so having that thicker tip really like made it easy to apply. But I remember wearing it one day, and it might have been more towards like the summer or like the springtime, and I remember I had looked in the mirror and it looked like I had like eyeliner all the way up here where it had transferred against my hooded lids, and I remember being so embarrassed because I had like gone the whole day looking like that, and I'm like, oh my god, nobody told me my makeup looked ridiculous. So unfortunately I didn't love the formula of this one because it transferred on me, but I did really like the actual size of the liner, and it was really easy to use. But I would not repurchase this one. It was like just a random brand I've never heard of before either, so unfortunately that one was a little bit of a bust for me. And then the next one that I used up, this one is from Romantic Beauty, and that's the 2-in-1 product. So this is actually a brow pencil, or not a brow pencil, but like a brow 3-pronged liquid liner for your brows almost. So that side I have not used up yet, but I did use up the eyeliner portion of that one. I did really like this one. I'm not gonna lie, I got this one because it was kind of like glitzy and I thought it was really pretty. I think I got this like a TJ Maxx for like under $5, but the actual eyeliner actually worked out pretty well. I did like it. It was, you know, pretty average, but a nice felt tip kind of eyeliner. But I am going to be keeping this because I do still have the brow product that I need to use up. So that one you will actually see going back into my makeup collection for the second half of the empty that I need to do. All right, and moving on to our next category, which is mascaras. And starting off with the first product, this one is actually a lash primer, and this one is the Essence Lash Princess Lash Primer. I really love this product. So I used this one at the beginning-ish of the year. I really enjoyed this one. I felt like it worked so well, especially with the other mascara that I have, the Lash Princess Curl and Volume Mascara. That's the pink one. I feel like those worked so good together, but I love this one so much. The only thing is it is like a white minty kind of color, and if you apply this and like your eyeliner mixes with it a little bit, it will kind of like turn this gray over time, which is a bummer. Sometimes when I apply my like liquid liner, sometimes there's a little bit on my eyelashes and then it like mixes together, so that was a little bit of a bummer. But I love this so much. I felt like it actually made my lashes like easier to apply the mascara because it kind of like pre-separates and like lifts and flutters them out, and then going over it with the mascara was such a good combo. So I love these. I'm actually have repurchased this one and I'm using using it currently. So this is definitely a really good lash primer for me, in my opinion. I just love what it does, so that one is a really, really good one and super inexpensive. So I have already talked about this one. I really like, between all the Lash Princess mascaras, I really like the green one and the pink one. Those are my two favorites. This one is the one that has like the Better Than Sex mascara wand, where it's kind of like that hour shaped one. I definitely really like that one. And then the green one is like kind of more like kind of like a tapered Christmas tree kind of shape brush. I like both of those, but I definitely really like this one as well. This is totally one I would repurchase in the future. Like I said, once I kind of clear out some things in my makeup collection and work through them all, that is definitely something I would repurchase in the future. Then for my next two mascaras, we have the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. I unfortunately have never used an e.l.f. mascara that I've liked. I don't think a single one. This one, not a fan of it. I can't remember what this one is supposed to be duping. It kind of has a brush that is like the CoverGirl Lash Blast, if you guys remember that one, where it's kind of like that rubbery, bristly kind of brush. It's not like a fibery kind of brush. I just didn't like this one, and I felt like I got this one like influenced to me by like somebody that I really like. And then I didn't love that mascara, and I felt like that was like the third time I tried a mascara that they liked that I didn't like. So I'm like, okay, clearly they just like mascaras that I don't like, so I just can't take their recommendations on that anymore, because that was the same thing with this one, which was the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I feel like so many people love this one, but I hated it. I just hated it. I did not love it. It's kind of like a curved spoon shaped one, and it also has like the rubber bristle kind of brush to it. This one was just not it for me. I felt like it was so clumpy, so like sticks my lashes together. I just hated this one so much, so I definitely like worked through it for as long as I could, and I definitely feel like I got a lot of use out of it, and I used as much as I possibly could. I would absolutely never purchase this one. I think I got this one like in a FabFitFun, but it was like an item I picked, so I'm kind of sad that I wasted my pick on something I didn't like. And finally, for the last product category, we have setting sprays, and for this category, I only finished one, but this one I did really enjoy. This is the e.l.f. Illuminating Mist and Set Spray. This one is just, I don't know, it's just a good one. I like this one. It's cheap. I don't know if they still sell it though, but I loved this one a lot, and I have gone through many of these in the past. Once again, I have so many setting sprays I'm working through, but this one I'm actually going to be repurposing the container, because I have another setting spray that I hated the packaging of, and I depotted it into a different sprayer, and it does not work with that one at all. So I'm going to depot it again into this one. Hopefully the formula will work a little bit better with this spray bottle, but it has a really nice even spray. I love this one. It gave a soft kind of like sheen to the skin. Loved it so much. I would definitely repurchase it in the future if it's still available, once I finish up a lot of other things though. So those are all of my makeup empties. So after all of that, the total count, I believe we have 23 items, which you guys, I think was actually pretty good. If I had kept doing my using up X amount of products in a year, 2025 would have been 25 makeup products, and I got so close to that goal, which wasn't even like a true goal for the year, because I was doing the rotation Shop My Stash, so I was not expecting to use up nearly this many items at all. Now granted, a lot of these are more of like the smaller deluxe sample kind of products, so that definitely did aid in my total count overall, but like I said, an empty is an empty, and I think I did such a good job without even like that being my main focus of the goal, so I'm very happy with myself. But I do have just a few more empties I wanted to throw in here as well. These are not makeup, but they are like little perfume samples. And I was a lot better at this at the beginning of the year. I would have a lot of these like little perfume vial samples, and I wanted to like use them up because I didn't like need to hang on to these teeny tiny perfumes. So I was a lot better at using these up at the beginning of the year, but I think I might kind of like bring that back and work it into my Fragrance Friday little mini series that I've been doing on my channel as the replacement for my sheet mask Sundays. So now that that series is kind of done with at the moment. I wanted to replace it with a Fragrance Friday, and I feel like I could probably easily work these into that too and use up the items, review the fragrances, let you guys know which ones I like, which ones I didn't like, because there's so many fragrances that I would have never tried otherwise had I not had so many of these little samples. And I have to say, I'm actually surprised. I don't really think there's any of these that I would have purchased. Now that I've smelled them, now that I've tried them and worn them, none of these like sold me on a perfume. So I actually have several of these. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these little samples. So I'm not counting these towards like the makeup empties number. These are just kind of like their own little thing. But I did use up one of the Chloe Love Story. I don't remember what I thought about any of these fragrances, so don't ask my opinions on them, but none of them were ones that I'm like, yes, I have to have that fragrance. Next up, we have the Especially Escada. Then I have 2 of the Chance Chanel perfumes. I have the Tom Ford Bitter Peach. I have the Clinique Happy. I have the Burberry Brit Rhythm. And I have the Kayali Vanilla 28. That was probably the closest of any of the fragrances that I got to that I would like maybe like want to buy, but I don't remember it that much, and it didn't like make that much of an impression on me. So yeah, I also used up 8 of the samples. I have like a little container of so many more. I probably have like 40 more of these little sample vials that I just need to use up and get out of my collection. So that will probably be another thing I will work into my Fragrance Friday videos. All right, guys, so that is it for all of the makeup products that I used up in 2025. Like I said, I have to say I was pretty surprised with myself. So now checking back in with your previous comment of how many items you thought I was going to use up. Now let me know, were you close? Were you not close? I definitely love to see all your guesses. And overall, I just have to say I'm just so glad that I have used up these products. They have served me well. I have gotten every penny out of them, and I feel so good about that. And that is always the goal. And I'm definitely going to be making some changes in my shopping habits and my makeup use and things like that in 2026. So I have definitely kind of realized how much stuff I have and trying to do better at using up things, getting them out of my collection, not bringing in as much stuff. So that is another goal I'm really working on 2026. But I'm going to have a whole video dedicated to that one coming out. Maybe it might be my next video or so definitely keep an eye out for that, because I'm going to be announcing what I am doing for my makeup challenge for 2026, and I think you guys will really enjoy it, so don't forget to keep an eye out for that video. And if you guys have also been doing a makeup empties this year, definitely let me know below how many makeup items did you use up, and I just love to kind of see what you guys used up, what things you liked, what you didn't like, things you'd recommend. I just love seeing all that, so if you guys want to share, don't forget to leave a comment below. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.